Hey everybody, welcome to another Function Fridays. I am super excited to have you all here today with me because we have another amazing function for you. If you guys are new to us and you don't know what Function Fridays is about, well, it's very simple. We take our years of experience, we take all the functions that we've gathered, we write them out for you here at qtptutorial.net, and then we show you how to use them and what to use them for. And what's really awesome is if you go to www.qtptutorial.net and subscribe to our blog, then you will receive this code in your inbox every single Friday. That's why this is so awesome. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Today's function is going to be called import all Excel sheets into the data table. And it does exactly as it says, which is very common to do. You write out your function name that will specify exactly what the function does. Is it imports all of the Excel sheets from an Excel into the data table. Now let me give you an example. Let's imagine you have a spreadsheet like this. This one has 3 sheets and it has different data in each sheet. Okay, you may want to use this data for something like a data-driven framework, or maybe a hybrid framework, or even a keyword-driven framework. Now, you don't want to open this Excel spreadsheet and figure out how many sheets there are, and then you have to do an add sheet and an import sheet over and over. Oh, and speaking of frameworks, guys, I almost forgot something amazing. Is we have a free webinar on November 8th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys go here at qtptutorial.net/webinar, you will be able to sign up and grab one of your 50 free seats to the webinar. There are only 50, guys. You do have to do something for it. It's very simple, but the space is limited, so hurry up and get yours because we are going to discuss frameworks here. And of course, with frameworks, you're going to get all of these other topics. Anyways, sorry, I ran out on a tangent. So, let's imagine we're using this for a framework. If you guys are not familiar with frameworks, you can go to that webinar and learn them there. Okay? What I would need to do is import each of these sheets, and then I would need to add them too. So you would do something like this. Sheet name, we'll call it sheet 1. So you would need to do something like this, and then file name. Let me get that for you guys. Then you need the source sheet and the destination sheet. Source sheet is going to be the same exact thing. And then destination sheet is going to be the same thing. So you guys get it? We added a sheet to the data table. Then we imported sheet 1. And now it's going to be put into sheet 1 in the data table. So if we have 3 of them, we have to do that 3 times. If we have 10 of them, we have to do that 10 times. And so on and so forth. And every single time you have to know how many sheets there are in the spreadsheet. So for example, if I run this, close this, and let's pause here. Okay, this is just so I can stop here. Let's run it, see what happens. F5 to run, guys. Invalid file. Give me a second. Okay, let's try this. I suspect that I needed to change the sheet names. Nope. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, guys, I figured it out. It was the fact that before I had an XLSX extension, not a .xls. Seems like the data table.import sheet method needs to have XLS extensions. I apologize for that. Sometimes even I forget all these small nuances because there are many problems with QTP and it's hard to remember everything. No worries. We all learn together. Let's move on and let me show you now if it's going to work or not. And it does. You guys can see here, these sheets have been imported. Here's sheet 1, then sheet 2, and sheet 3. Okay? But I already explained you the problem. Imagine if you had 10 sheets. You would need to do this over and over again. So the solution is the function that we're going to write today. Let me just go ahead and comment real quick. Usually I comment with Control-M, but my screen recording software is not letting me use Control-M. So let me grab the title. It's pretty long, hard to remember it all. Okay, and we're going to pass it workbook path. Now let's go through this logically, guys. According to this, what do we first need to do? Well, first, we need to open a workbook, right? After we open the Excel workbook, what are we going to do? We're going to want to count all of the sheets that are inside of it. Okay? Once we get the count, we will loop through all the sheets and let's get the names of the sheets. And get the names of all of the sheets. Afterwards, we'll just close the workbook. And now we are going to need to add the sheets and import the sheets. So let's loop through all of the sheets that we have. Is this making sense to you guys? So we pretty much did all the same stuff we did here, except we just had to open the Excel workbook, count everything, and then we're going to use that data for our function. Okay? So now that we have a pseudocode, let's create some stuff. Open the workbook path, and now let's get our sheet count. So simple, right? Let me make sure I declare some variables. Always very important. Okay, now we have the count. What are we going to need to do? Get their names. From 1 until the sheet count, we're going to get the names. And I'm going to store the names in an array. So I'll teach you guys how to create a dynamic array. Super simple. Let me declare these variables and declare the array. Array is dynamic, so it doesn't get anything as an argument. Okay, now we just need to close the workbook. Very easy to do that. Very easy to do that. And then clean up. Okay, cleaned up. And now I'm going to use a function that I actually created last week in the last function Fridays. If you did not catch that video, go ahead and watch it. It's another amazing function. But now everybody begins to see the beauty of functions because they are now reusable. I can continue to use this over and over. Does this make sense to you guys? So let me come in here and get my kill executable function. This is just a precaution. Sometimes QTP moves too fast for the Microsoft system. So maybe you think you may have quit the workbook and closed it. but really it's taking a few seconds. And so this will just help and clean up to make sure that down here you don't get any other errors. Okay? What are we going to kill? Excel. Okay? Now, one final loop. And then I'm just going to copy these statements. What sheet are we going to add? This sheet. And then, what are we going to import? Workbook path. Okay, so add the sheet to the data table. And then import, just like we did, we're going to import that same sheet to that sheet in the data table. Is all of this making sense to you guys? Okay, awesome. I believe that we are done, and I explained it along the way, so no need for another explanation. Unless you guys are confused, then of course you can always ask me more questions. But let's go ahead and try to use it so that you can see what happens. Just like that. And let me put a breakpoint here. Okay, and let's run it. Boom, check it out, guys. It imported every single sheet and it added it to the data table. Now imagine someone else decided to add another sheet to the data table. No big deal. They will all be added automatically. And so on and so forth. This is very dynamic. Doesn't matter how many sheets there are in the workbook. They will always be imported for your frameworks, which is probably what they're most useful for. And of course, we'll get into that on November 9th. By the way, guys, I want to make an apology right now. I realize that I said that the webinar is on November 8th, but it's actually on Saturday, November 9th. Let me not confuse you guys, okay? Saturday, November 9th is the correct date, okay? Anyways, I wanted to thank you all so much for joining me here. We all appreciate your time and the fact that you are spending your day with us. I am very glad I can help you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, go to our YouTube channel, leave a comment there. You can go to our website, leave comments there. Send us an email, Facebook us, whatever you want. Guys, we are here to help you. And we can't help you if we don't know what questions you guys have. We do our best to cover everything, but sometimes we may forget some stuff. So anyways, thanks again. Happy Function Fridays. See you guys next time.